I'm live. Hey, wait a minute. Where's our music? There's no fancy stuff in the background. This is an InfoWars. Oh my God. I'm a lot more credible if there's like fireworks going off in the background and music and the Darth Vader stuff, making everything seem more ominous, more believable when that's going on. But apparently we don't have that. So you're just going to have to suffer through me talking, unfortunately. So, hey, welcome back, everybody. Dean Clifford here. I took a little bit of a hiatus for a couple of months after my stint in jail. Got back into things for about a month there right after I got out, and quickly found out that I actually was getting really overwhelmed and very tired very quickly and just needed some time to myself. And I took that. I thought I was going to be a couple of weeks, ended up being a couple of months, but now I'm back home. I'm in my office. Took a while to get that all set up after it was all ransacked, and my home sat vacant for 16 months, a lot of cleaning, a lot of making it feel like it was my home again, a lot of getting my plants back in the sunroom and just kind of making this my own personal space. And I'm kind of at a level now where I feel comfortable enough and happy and recovered, and I've slept. I'm sleeping at nights. That's always a good thing. Caught up with the news, caught up with the movement, caught up with everything, and further down the road from where I was before. So it's time to get back into some shows, I suppose. So that's what we're doing here today. Once again, I have no real motif. I have no subject. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to cover today. I want to go over a lot of news and entertainment things that are going on in the world right now, just to kind of make people realize just how irrelevant a lot of this nonsense is, and how much they should not pay attention to it, and how much they should start devoting their energy to their own lives. So I can't promise I'm going to keep the ranting down. I get kind of worked up when I read some of this stuff on the news right now. And now that I'm at home and I've got my big monitor over here and my littler monitor over here, and I've got screens up all over the place, and I can get caught up with everything, life is a go. It's great. So I'm in full life high def camera now this time around, and Biggie tells me the audio is picking up way better with all my equipment at home here. So it's good. It's going to be good to start doing a lot more shows now and a lot more things. Anybody that's been following what we're doing on Facebook, which, I mean, I'm the first person to tell people they shouldn't be on Facebook, but while it is around, it's an excellent media platform for us to use to take down their media platforms and expose everything and get out there and social network and expand and grow and get more listeners than ever before. And I'm telling you right now, between Canada and Australia seem to be the real hot spots for people waking up. I have more people contact me from Australia than anywhere right now. It was the UK a couple months back, but now Australia seems to be on a real big catch-up phase where just everybody there, and everybody I talk to in Australia, when they walk around Australia, will stop and talk to somebody on the streets, and they just immediately strike up a conversation about government, how much they hate government, how much they want to leave, how much they're just sick to death of corruption and lies and bullshit and everything that goes along with it, and they're just sick to death of it. And they all don't know what to do about it though. They're like, well, what do we do? Like, we're not going to start a new political party. We can't fix this. And as we covered on one of the last shows there, I think where I left off a couple months back, is we know these institutions are dog turds. They're piles of shit. They're garbage, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And we shouldn't we shouldn't be interacting with them at all. We shouldn't partake in anything. We shouldn't acknowledge them. We should just leave. And all of this hype that's going on all over the world right now, all the little wars are starting here and there, and the stock market crashes, and the currency wars, and this is happening, and oh my God, this is happening, and holy shit, the presidential race is really heating up, man. Hillary's hiding her emails, and she's refusing court orders, and the FBI is going to get involved, and all this shit's going on. It's got everybody talking about this because it's exciting, it's entertaining. Well, that's the point. It's supposed to entertain you. It's supposed to keep you wanting more information from that system. It's designed to keep you glued to the new newswire feed that's coming out of the latest of what Donald Trump said. Holy fuck, he's going to change the face of politics. You all better get involved and start voting again, because fuck, are you missing out on a real exciting time. Donald Trump. Donald fucking Trump is involved in the political race in the United States now. If that doesn't get all you people that lost faith in the system up off your couches and voting again and taking us seriously, then nothing will, I suppose. Well, no, that's not true. They'll just come up with a new gimmick next week. They're just like friggin' Coca-Cola or McDonald's. They'll bring out a new toy or get a fucking clown in a suit up in front of the stage there to dance with big floppy feet. Anything. They don't give a fuck what it is, as long as it keeps you entertained and keeps you coming back to their bullshit and paying attention to it and caring and talking about it. That's the big thing, even talking about it, because you're getting their brand name out there, their product, their label, and that's what they really want, okay? That's the whole point of the presidential debates. That's the whole point of the email scam. That's the whole point of everything that they're doing. It's entertainment. Keep the viewer interested and coming back for more. That's all it is. And people have to realize that. That's why we're trying to build our own systems now. That's why I hate even talking about their shit. But we kind of have to right now because, well, we haven't really built our new system yet. It's kind of like a ghost in the machine kind of thing. There's all this static in the background of life, and it hasn't really coalesced into anything yet. It's just dissension among the people in general around the world. And it's starting to catch on in the mainstream now that, wow, there's this massive level of dissension with people out there, just a general unhappiness about what's going on. And they're thinking about just kind of leaving and doing their own thing because they start realizing that, well, these institutions are irrelevant. They're just irrelevant. They're incompetent beyond description, which is not their purpose in the first place. They're not supposed to be competent. They're supposed to be there. It doesn't matter what they do for you. They're there. They're the only thing that's there, and that's the only reason you continue to interact with them on any level. So, as I stated last time, I've been really concentrating for a while now. Before my arrest in November 2013 in Ontario, I was in the middle of proposing to people at the Hamilton seminar a concept I've been working on for a few years now, which is I called it the divestment schematic back then, a divestment plan, the land stewardship co-op, where we all just, the government's never going to be the solution to our problem. The government's never the solution to any problem. They are the problem. And they count on us never building our own systems and our own monetary systems and our own currencies, our own society, our own industries, our own economy, all that kind of stuff. They know most people are far too lazy. But I proposed the concept of crowdfunding and doing crowd projects that are basically crowdfunded initiatives to start building our own economy and our own systems. And it was within not even a half an hour after we finished talking about that at the conference, at the end of the Sunday conference, when I was kidnapped by plainclothes agents that jumped up out of the audience, where I guess audience members all weekend who just discovered Dean Clifford was in town, and there was allegedly a make-believe warrant for him. So I was whisked away and disappeared for 16 months. I guess maybe they're expecting the movement was going to cool off, or oh look, even Dean Clifford went to jail. He must be wrong. So now we better just start obeying government again. So we've been busy trying to get an organization together, a framework for something that we can all build and be a part of, no matter who they kidnap or kill or torture or remove or throw in jail and put on ice or whatever they do to people anymore, suicided, if they're going to be suiciding people still, whatever the case may be. Just a framework, a blueprint that other people can follow as well, an idea, a concept that can just carry on. And as long as people get the idea that we have to stop going to these people for our solutions. And so that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight as well. Some of my personal pet peeves, like the Zeitgeist movement, the Thrive movement, the March Against Monsanto movement, the Greenpeace movement, all this kind of stuff. More distractions. So we need something. We need some of our own society, some of our own organizations that actually accomplish something. Something more than, Greenpeace received $120-something million in donations this year, and what did they show for it? Well, they entertained us for a couple hours because they had somebody climb up a nuclear cooling tower and hang a banner down it, and then the guy parachuted off it and got arrested to raise awareness about nuclear power. Okay. We don't need awareness about nuclear power. We don't need people parachuting off a cooling tower and getting arrested to prove that nuclear power is bad. We know nuclear power is bad. What the fuck did that just do for $120 million? Why didn't they take their $120 million and buy up about 10 sections of land somewhere and fill the fucking place with solar panels and start feeding an electrical grid somewhere, or build a whole fucking town powered by that electrical grid that doesn't need those nuclear power plants? Okay, why didn't they do that? No, they can't do that. They want to parachute off a fucking cooling tower instead to make you think they actually did something. So everyone is sitting back at home that donated $10 to Greenpeace, going, "Oh, look at that! Well, they're doing something. Some guy just parachuted off a fucking cooling tower. Well, that was pretty entertaining." Are you fucking for real? It does nothing. It does absolutely fucking nothing except make you think that you actually got involved in something that's changing the world. That's what it did. Well, okay. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore right now. Let's do some other stuff. Let's talk about news. I actually was just thinking yesterday and the day before. I was like, you know what? I should really cover some news events going on around the world right now. That I keep getting all these emails from people, emergency, urgent, or Facebook updates from people of links to some new disaster that's happening. I don't know, right now. I'm sure there's an alert on my Facebook right now about something else that happened somewhere. Someone's been gassed, or a subway blew up, or there's another explosion in China, or the Chinese yen was devalued again overnight by 0.083%, and gas is going to go up another 15 cents today, and all this fucking shit. That it's like I didn't speak to anybody 2 months ago. It's just the minute I'm not on the air talking about anything anymore, it's just right back to the shit, the distractions, the circus to get you caught up in their fucking garbage again. So let's just go over the relevancy of a lot of the big things in the news right now. We'll just cover some stuff here. I pulled them all up on my screen, so I had them, kind of handy. And so let's okay. I pulled up this one earlier today. And it was Europe in crisis. Okay, that's the headline. Of course, this went out all over all the news wires, and it's on InfoWars, and it's on whatreallyhappened.com, and it's on I don't even know where it's on everywhere. It makes the rounds. It's on the same sites all over the world. For the record, we don't need any more sites on the internet that repost and rehash the same shit. It's on 11 billion different internet sites around the world right now. You can't go to a site without all these news stories being reposted somewhere. So we don't need that anymore. We got lots. So Europe in crisis. When the fuck are they not in crisis? They were in crisis 4 years ago. Somebody was being bailed out. They were in crisis 2 years ago before I went to jail. The whole time I was in jail, Greece was in crisis, being bailed out. Something else was in crisis. Well, they're in crisis again today. Look right here, Europe in crisis. Well, fuck, this looks important. I better pay attention to this. Everyone from Putin to ordinary savers is stockpiling gold. Oh, well, Vladimir Putin's doing it, and ordinary savers are doing it, but I'm not doing it. Well, fuck, I better go out and buy gold. Okay. What do you want gold for? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to eat it? Are you going to make a salad with it? Are you going to make salad dressing with it? No. Are you going to wait to see if it doubles in value and then maybe sell it, and then 2 years from now, and then do what with the money? Right? In the meantime, you've probably lost your job, and they've manipulated the price of gold, and it's either devalued further, or it's now worth $3,000 Canadian, but $3,000 Canadian doesn't buy you a fucking hot dog anymore because there's no food left in the world. So it appreciated in value, it doubled in value, but the price of a hot dog went up 1,000,000% in the meantime, and you didn't use it to buy land or food or cows or chickens or grow a garden or anything. So you're fucking starving. You're using that brick of gold now to buy one hot dog. So what the fuck do you want gold for? They have you believing you want gold. It's in all the news stories. You think that they're not releasing these kind of stories to the alternative media to make sure that people, oh, I'm watching the alternative media sites. I know something the average everyday person doesn't know, so I'm going to go buy gold and I'm going to be rich 5 years from now, okay? No, you ain't going to be fucking nothing but starving is what you're going to be if you buy gold. It's useless. It's a fucking useless commodity. They control the price of it. It's just another tax every time it inflates and deflates in value. And as we've discussed in other videos in the past, Again, gold does not go down or up in price, ever. The currency you're buying gold with does. The gold is the anchor that tells you what the other currencies are worth. It's just gold. It's worth whatever you have to pay to get an ounce of it. It's the commodity, okay? It doesn't go up or down in price. What it's worth in terms of other dollars is what goes up or down in price. That's what the inflation is. So you're never going to benefit from this process, ever. You're going to have a cupboard full of little silver coins that are worth $16 a piece. They're going to do nothing for you except sit there, and your kids might inherit them one day, but they're going to do nothing for you. You're not going to get rich. You're not going to get wealthy. You're not going to acquire wealth. You're going to get nowhere in life. It's a distraction. They want you believing that that's the solution to everything. Oh, a gold-based currency is going to save the world. Fuck. Okay, I've done episodes on that. That's not what's going to save the world. That's not what's causing the world's problems. So scrap this gold bullshit. Stop paying attention to this garbage. If you got a couple extra bucks kicking around somewhere, go do something worthwhile with it. Okay, go buy, spend $3 on a package of tomato seeds, start growing your own food, or something other than just buying silver or gold. Okay, so that one gets eliminated. Let's see what else here. What's in the news today? Ooh, what's the newest thing to keep us distracted? EPA tries to swindle Indians affected by Gold King mine debacle. Let's see. Let's read a little bit. So the EPA is trying to cheat Navajo Indians by getting them to sign away their rights to future claims from the agency's Gold King mine disaster. Tribal officials charged Wednesday, adding more to the administration's public relations problem over the spill that threatens critical Southwest waterways. Environmental Protection Agency officials were going door to door asking Navajos, some of whom don't speak English as their primary language, to sign a form that offers to pay damages incurred so far from the spill, but waiving the right to come back and ask for more if their costs escalate or if they discover bigger problems. Here's my question. Why is it the first response to this environmental catastrophe is to send out people and have them getting Indians signing waiver forms? Why don't they send these people out with little buckets to start cleaning up the river? Their first priority, their number one priority, is getting people to sign waiver forms for possible damages, right? What the are you kidding me? That's the priority, is the waiver forms. Now, yeah, we got somebody's alarm honking back here. It's probably the police that are watching my house right now. So I'm just going to close that window. And the honking stops now anyways. So again, this tells you where the priorities of this government are, or the EPE, what is it, the Environmental Protection Agency? Like, what are they protecting? It's not the environment, or they'd be out there cleaning the fucking spill up. They're protecting their asses, and they're protecting Gold King Mine, the mining company that apparently has dumped all this stuff into the river. And they're protecting them from lawsuits. That's who they're protecting. But it's sure as fuck not the environment, and they're sure not doing anything about cleaning it up. But they got you talking about the fact that they're out there trying to screw the Indians, and they're doing something, and they're trying getting people who don't speak English to sign waiver forms in exchange for $10. You know, like, is this anything different from 400 years ago or 5,000 years ago? No, it's the same thing. And get it out of your head. Okay, gone. Let's see. Investment Watch. The bottom 90% of Americans are going to get crushed, and crushed is in all capital letters. Holy fuck, I'm paying attention now. By offshoring robots and 1099 gig apps, such as Uber and TaskRabbit. I don't even know what the fuck those are. But my first thought when I see this is these Americans are going to get crushed by offshoring. Does this mean they're going to lose their jobs? Well, how's that a bad thing? I think Americans work too much as it is anyways. I mean, great. If they got all these robots doing this shit now, then I guess that's going to make a lot of free time for me to maybe go grow something. I mean, I could go mow my lawn. There's all sorts of things I could do because now there's robots building this shit that I don't have to do anymore. So I really don't see what the problem here is. One problem could be that maybe the United States is going to, start wondering how they're going to replace the $17,000 per year they get on average per worker to fund their $2.5 trillion revenue stream from the working class. Well, see, I think this is great. I think that everybody, the 90% of Americans that are going to get laid off because of offshoring and robots and 10 and 9 gig apps, I think they should just go outside and start growing some food and stop participating in everything. Just stop. Good. We have to do an awful lot less work now. This is great. Why does everybody worry about this? Why are you worried? Are you going to starve? Are you going to starve because of this? Maybe if you sit around and do nothing and whine and go and bitch and complain and try to force the government to do something instead of just going and planting a garden, you could feed yourself, or you could spend the next 5 years going and bitching and moaning to the government that they got to do something about this. So this is how they get you to hand them your power. You need them to do something about this, because you're not going to go do anything about it yourself. You're not just going to go out and just start looking after yourself. You want the government to look after everything for you. So this is a power play for them. This is great. The more dependent they make you on them, the more power they have. It's perfect. So this works in their favor. But people are worried about this. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. Oh, what am I going to do? I won't be able to buy my kids that next PlayStation, the PlayStation 18 that comes out, and then they're going to spit on me and tell me they hate me and call Child Family Services or whatever the hell it is in the States, and I'm going to get arrested for being a bad parent because I won't buy them a video game system. Okay, gone. Next. Oh, here's a good headline. He's done it again. Trump has killed politically correct speech. Man, he just, oh, fuck you. If you aren't paying attention to these debates, you are a nobody, because, man, Donald Trump just says whatever comes to his mind. It's so politically incorrect and zany. Oh my God, as I watched it last night, I was just on pins and needles waiting to see what Donald Trump was going to say next. It was just, oh, it was so zany and bizarro. I tweeted my friends immediately to say, oh my God, like OMG. I didn't even type out, oh my God, it had to be that fast. OMG, did you see what Trump just said? Yeah, it was just, wow. I mean, I want to vote now. I want to become an American so I can go vote in the United States to show my support for how upside down Donald Trump has turned the political landscape in the United States. Anyways, what's next? Ronald McDonald, is he going to run next? Like I said, they're going to bring out a clown in a suit and he's going to juggle for you and call everybody bitches and hoes, and I don't know, maybe start urinating on the front row of all the people there to watch the political speeches, like some of the bands in the United States there, like Blind Melon or something like that. Like it's idiocy, and you keep falling for it. Oh, wait till you see the next political character that they bring out next. Oh man, I mean, we're not even attempting to make government look legitimate these days or even credible. It's just about what kind of a bizarre character they can bring out next. A political character, right? Fuck me. So anybody that falls for this shit, you're a moron. Next. Here's an interesting one. How long can manipulation last? The math says it's almost over. Oh, well, that's good. Big private wealth quietly buying physical gold. So again, there's another one of these, how we're getting an inside scoop on something here. The scam's almost up, and you don't want to be the last one not having any gold. The math says it's almost over. What math? The same math that gave rise to fractional reserve banking in the first place? Is that a math we should trust? Like, what math says it's over? This is more shit. It's garbage. It's into the category of desperate China escalates currency war. Desperate China? The fuck? Who says they're fucking desperate? Anyways, so again, that whole, I should have gold, I should have silver. Oh, the manipulation's almost over. Yep, there's no place else they can go. I was hearing this 15 years ago. Man, those guys are cornered now. They can't possibly manipulate things any more than they have now. Of course they can. They can do anything, and you suckers would still buy into it. And even if the currency system collapsed tomorrow, who would you go to help fix everything and to provide for you and to make sure you had food, and you would buy into whatever new system that they created that same day? Okay, guys, you caught us. You're right. We've been fucking you now for, well, okay, since the time of Christ. Sorry about that. But we're going to be honest now. We just created a whole new honest system. It's already in effect. The legislation was passed years ago because we saw this catastrophe coming, and all you got to do now is hand over your life to us again, and we'll treat you right this time. Don't worry, and you'll buy into it. You'll go straight back to it. As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his foolishness. And most of you are just going to go right back to the foolishness. Hopefully not. That's why we're here. So how long can manipulation last? Well, it can last forever. That's the answer to that. How long can it last? For fucking ever. As long as people can still be manipulated, manipulation will last. Oh, gone. Next. Hillary's server had classified email, and yes, Obama wants her gone. Okay. Again, more acting, political characters acting the role that, oh, now, oh my God, Obama wants Hillary gone now. Holy fuck, what's going to happen tomorrow? Maybe they'll become friends again. I can't wait. You know, it's Young and the Restless. This is Young and the Restless. It's scripted. It's scripted. So that you are just waiting to find out what happens next. It's entertainment. That's all it is, to keep you interested in their system, to keep you tuning in. Fuck, I have to be home by 4 o'clock tomorrow. Young and the Restless starts at 4 o'clock, and I get to find out what's going to happen between Hillary and Clinton today. So I have to be there for this. I can't even wait to like just to hear it in the news feeds a couple of days from now. I have to watch it live. I have to know now because I'm a part of this. It's important to me. My life has no meaning until I find out who Tom Cruise is dating today. I mean, whether or not Obama wants Hillary gone, or okay. Stop. Garbage. Stop paying attention to this nonsense. Okay. On the same topic, Chinese devaluation extends to third day. Yen hits 4-year low. Japan escalates currency race to the bottom rhetoric. Let's pretend that any of this is true. Let's pretend for a moment any of this matters to you. Oh, it doesn't. And if it did, what could you do about this? So let's refer to the Dean theory on sphere of influence. So let's pretend that that this affected me in some measurable way that I cared about. What could I do to influence this? What could I do to change this, other than just freaking out and running out and buying gold, or buying into the fear or the hype, or giving this system any more relevance in my life by believing that that this is, you know, this does something real to my everyday life. It has no impact on your life whatsoever. And if gas went up 20 cents a liter in Canada the same day, I'm sure it's connected, because you know the devaluation of the yen made it so that gas immediately jumped at the pump 20 cents, because that affected something somewhere on this planet so fucking badly that they had to immediately crank the price at the pumps, or the world was going to explode. I don't fucking know how could that even be possible? It's bullshit. That's how it's possible. So stop it. People, stop sending me fucking emails about how the currency war is on and we're all going to die because of these currency wars, because there's going to be no food, and I better have gold come fall because everything is disintegrating this fall. Unlike last fall when everybody said it was going to disintegrate and it didn't, but which is like the fall before where everybody said everything was going to disintegrate. Which was like the fall before, except I think that fall, the Galactic Federation of Light was swooping in to help everybody that time and give everybody $11 billion of rainbow currency. So we were going to be okay that time if it happened. So, okay, no, stop. Just go outside and plant something, please, and just sit out there for a couple hours and do nothing but watch something grow on your front lawn. And you will have spent the most productive 2 hours of your life of the last 20 years. Because this is not it. So, next. Jane Seymour broke down in tears after learning how her Jewish ancestors suffered in the Holocaust. Let's read more of this one. The former Bond girl traveled to Poland to retrace the steps of her ancestors while taking part in BBC's hit show Who Do You Think You Are? Good question. Seymour's grandfather had escaped the Nazi regime and built a life in London. But what happened to her great aunts, Jadwiga and Michaela? Had long remained a mystery. Such research revealed that, despite untold horrors, the sisters survived the war and were reunited afterwards. Wait a minute here. Jane Seymour broke down in tears after learning how her Jewish ancestors suffered in the Holocaust. Okay, well, it turns out they all lived and they're just fine. Why the fuck is this news? You know what this means? This means that Jane Seymour now goes on a list of people that I don't give a fuck about anything they ever had to say in their lives anymore for any reason. That's what that means. That's what this thing means. 50-something million people died in World War II, but Jane Seymour is sobbing because her ancestors lived just fine through something that apparently killed every Jew on the planet and escaped no problem, and we're all reunited afterwards. So she's sobbing about this. What the fuck? Gone. Okay. Propaganda wars. U.S. allocates $500,000 for Baltic journalism programs to combat Russian propaganda. Oh, this, I read a little bit about this one. This is genius. We're going to read a little bit of this one. So the United States Embassy in Vilnius, I don't even know where that is, announced, I don't care either, by the way, announced a grant of $500,000 to set up training programs for early to mid-career journalists and other media professionals from Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia to combat Russian propaganda. I think they call that bribes and paying people to make fake news stories in some parts of the world to combat Russian propaganda. So the initiative will provide training sessions and journalism workshops in these 3 countries and also enable journalists to conduct their own investigations with cash reporting awards. Oh, there we go. So if you make a story that's in favor of the United States and slams Russia in some fake and completely made up way, there is a cash reporting award. That's the money line right there. So study trips to the United States, to visit newsrooms, journalism schools, that's an oxymoron, and learn about new models for funding. Oh, again, new models for funding. Well, like, is there going to be a checklist or like some kind of a pie chart with how much you receive in funding based on how much bullshit you make up on a daily basis? It's almost believable. It kind of sounds what that's all about. So the program will give the investigative reporters the skills and tools necessary to counter perceived misinformation by Russian media. It doesn't say that. It doesn't even say Russia's lying. It doesn't even say that Russian media is giving us misinformation. It says to counter perceived misinformation. So if the United States perceives it as misinformation, we have to counter that. So it makes it sound like Russia's actually reporting, like maybe, I don't know, propaganda or biased news reporting, maybe like the United States does, but Russia's evil for doing it. The United States is just defending your freedom. So it will be replaced by fact-based, credible news reporting. That's actually in quotation marks. Like, they have to stress that, as read by the notice, reported the Commersant. So during the March EU summit, participants instructed the Foreign Service to develop appropriate plans to counter perceived Russian propaganda and what they deem as misinformation. So if they deem it as misinformation, which means the U.S. is denying something that the U.S. or that Russia has correctly reported on about the U.S. doing around the world, as long as the U.S. deems it to be misinformation, it's now propaganda, and they have a team of people with, it's actually not much, $500,000, this little grant that they, just to start something probably somewhere. But I it's just me, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe $500,000 could be better spent, I don't know, giving grants to small farmers in the United States so they can actually plant and grow food and compete with Monsanto maybe. Somebody's doing that in the world right now. Who is it? Hang on. Oh, Russia. That's right. They're giving grants to small farmers instead of journalists, and they're giving small farmers money to start raising geese and have farms and grow food, and they're giving away land for free to be used by these people to grow the food and get these farms off the ground. So, well, again, while the United States is giving grants to journalists, Russia's giving grants to farmers. So, gone. This one's interesting. It has to do with that disaster in the United States with the pollution in the river. So geologists predicted EPA would intentionally pollute Animas River to secure federal funding. Well, no shit. That's what government institutions do, because if they don't have some disaster to deal with, and if they don't justify their own existence, their funding is terminated, and those people lose their pensions and their jobs. So the more bullshit you can create, the more reasons you can create for your own existence, or create more reasons than are needed for your existence, and you get more funding and you can expand your organization, and all the funding for this is put on the backs of the taxpayers to come up with more and more money to fund all this non-existent bullshit being created by departments of the government to justify their existence. You know, kind of like the police departments, lawyers, politicians themselves, every branch of the government that needs to justify its existence, creating its own workload. So I think that that's a no-brainer that the EPA intentionally allowed this to happen, if they didn't do it personally themselves, to make sure that they've got lots of work and federal funding into the next millennium. So kind of relevant, just basically to prove why you should have nothing to do with these people, as if we needed more reasons. So gone. Okay, Chris Christie. If taxpayers knew how he spent $1 million, his life would be in danger. So the caption here is, as Hillary's popularity falls below Sanders in New Hampshire because of her email cover-up, we learn that Chris Christie has spent more than 22 times his predecessor, John Corzine, on food and travel for his personal security army. When a watchdog group wanted to see how the money was spent, Christie said it would put him in danger. So again, why even stay part of a system like this when a man who apparently represents the people in his state is so hated that he needs that much money just for food and travel for his own personal security army to keep him safe? From what? If you're doing your job and if the people believe in government and love what you're doing, why do these people need these security armies? Why do they need this? Why do they need to spend millions of dollars just on security? Because people hate them so much and want them to fucking die and are ready to kill them themselves. That's how bad things are in the world right now. That's how sick to fucking death people are of government, that a fucking fat tub of shit like this that's never worked a day in his life has to spend millions just on food and travel for his personal security army to keep people from ripping him apart limb from limb and shitting on the dead body parts. Tells me that we're in a lot of trouble. We are in a lot of trouble in this world. And that's why we have to leave all this shit behind and just leave, just go and start something new that we actually want to be a part of, that we love, and where we don't want to murder people because they make us so angry about what they're doing with what's supposed to be our lives and our money. So I thought this was kind of funny. Gone. Let's see. This is interesting. It's unconstitutional to ban the homeless from sleeping outside, the federal government says. Apparently, we needed the federal government to come to a decision and then inform us of this decision, which is it's unconstitutional to ban the homeless from sleeping outside. They're homeless. Where the fuck are they going to sleep if you ban sleeping outside? This is just how fucking stupid this has all become. The fact that this even is a headline on a news story. It's next. Let us continue. Dutch government refuses to unseal MH17 documents. No shit. Dutch Justice Minister acknowledged that the disaster indeed has a big impact on people's lives, but secrecy is more important than the impact it had on all the people's lives. Well, what secret could possibly be that important that they feel the need to seal the files and never tell anybody ever what happened with that crash? Could it be, I don't know, that the Ukraine shot it down to blame Russia to try to start a war, or maybe the US did it to try to start a war and then blame Russia? That seems to be like personally speaking, me, I would think that would probably be a secret that's more important than the lives that were impacted by this crash. If you live in an insane fucking world where you believe that governments have to keep those kind of secrets because they're actually fucking doing these kind of things in the first place. And they have to keep it from you because if you found out they were doing it, you would march into their offices and you'd hang those fuckers on the spot if you found out just how evil the shit that they were doing around the planet was revealed. So that's a problem. No wonder they're keeping this shit secret. No wonder they're keeping the secret, because that would have a much bigger impact on people if they found out how fucking dirty this shit was. So that's really sad that the Dutch government feels the need to, The Hague, August 13. The Dutch government has refused to unseal documents. In his response, Van de Steur acknowledged that the disaster did indeed have a big impact on people's lives, but the secrecy was more important. So that tells you right there where our place in the world is with what we believe to be our government. Okay, there should never be any secrets, ever, in any government that represents a people. Ever. There should never be a secret. I don't give a shit if it's secret technology that, well, we have to keep that secret because if the Russians knew that we had that, they'd be able to develop a counter to that and they would beat us in any future war, right? So it seems reasonable, but it's not. It's just, it's the slippery slope of tyranny when you believe you have to start keeping secrets for the interest of national security. I'll tell you right now, national security is better served by being completely open and honest with the people so that there are no secrets being kept anywhere and the government is forthright and honest in its dealings with the people. That's the only possible way to have a secure nation. So it's a lie that secrets are essential for the security of a nation. Well, maybe their nation that doesn't give a shit about us. They just want us there to fund all their fucking crap so that when a war does start, they just disappear down to their bunkers and come out 10 years later and we're all fucking dead and they still own everything. So that's about the only reason it could possibly be essential for the survival of the nation. It's because it's their survival they're worried about, nobody else's. And as George Carlin used to say, you're not in that club. So just give us your money, shut the fuck up, go back to work, and forget about why that plane crashed, all right? Okay, next. Now this is an unbelievable story. Unbelievable. A barber in Iowa gave free haircuts to kids in exchange for them reading to him. Now, at first, I thought there was going to be a twist to this, like maybe he then got charged with like being a pedophile or fondling them or something. I figured there just had to be some kind of a catch, a grabber here. But no, it turns out that there actually just was a barber in Iowa who wanted to encourage kids to read. So he gave free haircuts if they would read to him from a book as he did the haircuts. I read the whole thing and I was like, well, that's fucking great. And it turns out that there was no government act that was passed to force him to do that. So I was a little confused by this because it turns out that maybe this guy just wanted to do something good. So I'm surprised that even made it to the news cables because we don't want people thinking that there's just random acts of kindness in the world without the government mandating it. Because you know what? Of course, we need everybody to believe that, you know, without government telling us what to do every minute of every day of our lives, we would be raping and murdering and eating each other by tomorrow morning. There's no way in hell that we would just be cutting people's hair for free if they read a book to us while we did it. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that if robots have replaced you and 90% of Americans are going to be unemployed, that's probably what would happen if the government wasn't around, is that we'd all just plant some gardens, get along. People would be cutting other people's hair for nothing, just for the chance to chat and have somebody read them a book and chill out and just, exist happily together without the need to pay a mortgage bill and your income taxes and make sure you got enough money for eating and all the other 11 billion problems out there that you need to worry about on a daily basis. We would just enjoy our lives and cut hair in exchange for somebody reading to us from a book. So that's probably what would happen if there was no government tomorrow. So very important story. I like that one. So what else is of dire, earth-shattering news here that you guys need to know? Wow. Okay. Yes. Again. Oh man, this is everywhere. China devaluation. Man, they really want you to think this is a big deal. You have not seen anything yet! Exclamation mark. No, believe me, I've fucking seen it all. Joins financial terrorists in fully developed currency wars. First thought that comes to mind, how can I join? How can I join this currency war? How can I help devalue the American dollar and the Chinese yen and gold all at once and just get rid of all of these fucking assholes? Bitcoin comes to mind, or creating our own economy and our own system where we don't accept any of their bullshit as payment for any services of any kind, any of our food, anything that we produce. How's that for a good currency war? Fuck, I want in on this. Let's join. Let's go. Come on. I'll go to war with you guys, currency-wise, because see, I'll actually go to work tomorrow and I can produce something. You people can't. So you can't compete in a currency war. You need slaves. I don't. So fuck you. You already lost. Next. Half of voters want criminal probe of Hillary Clinton's private email use. Why? Why? So you can prove that she's a liar, so she won't get to be president, and some other guy or woman who's just as bad, if not worse, will get in, but he just hasn't been busted yet. So let's really concentrate on just trashing Hillary right now, while we enjoy the rest of the circus with Donald Trump making us all believe in politics all over again. Okay. Again, who gives a fuck about her emails? I don't care if she ordered somebody to be executed in plain English in one of her emails, or admitted to killing people in her emails. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. I don't care. I don't care. Nobody should care. You should care about leaving this system. The fact that this woman is even in contention in the first place, that of the 340-something million Americans that exist on this planet, this is the best they could come up with to be a candidate for president of the United States, is this fucking bitch who everybody hates, that is hiding emails and has been busted doing any number of crimes. The fact that these elections are even legitimate anymore, knowing that there's people like this that actually are running and have made it that far in the electoral process to even be a contender for president of the United States. People, just the fact that she's there and this is happening should make you lose complete faith in anything you perceive to be government. Period. You should want nothing to do with it at all anymore. In fact, the government of the United States should actually come to you and apologize that these people are even running altogether and say, we are so sorry. This makes everybody look bad, including us, and we want you to believe that we're really legitimate. So we want you to find real candidates. But they don't. So the circus continues. It is a circus. Wow. 350 million people. And this is the best they could come up with for people to run in an election. And they want you to actually pay attention to this and spend some of your life energy worrying about this in some way. Well, oh my God, I better vote now because I got to make sure Hillary Clinton doesn't win. I got to make sure that somebody less bad than her wins. I had somebody actually tell me that. I had somebody say, well, the only reason I'm voting is to make sure that somebody that gets in that's at least not as bad as her. That's your motivation for voting now? Not because I think this guy's going to do a great job. This guy is going to lead us out of hell. No, it's like, holy shit, I can't let her get in. I'd rather vote for this guy that molests children because at least he's not as bad as her. That is not an electoral process. That's not a government. That's not anything that you should be any part of whatsoever. Stop voting. It only encourages them. Just stop. Just stop it. I need like Susan Powder here from the 1980s, or wherever it was, when she was telling everybody, just stop it. I got a little clip of her that I can play every time I read one of these stories. It's, just stop it. Stop the madness. Stop it. Stop. Shh. Go plant something. Go plant a garden. Watch it grow tonight. Watch a blade of grass increase by 0.5 millimeters between now and 10 o'clock tonight, and you will have spent a more worthwhile use of your time than paying attention to any of this shit at all. Discard it all. Gone. So this one's gone. Gone. Russia sanctions triggered worst EU dairy crisis in 30 years. Yeah, that didn't backfire. Yeah, let's do trade sanctions on Russia. That'll teach them a lesson. That'll teach everybody in the world a lesson as to why you don't get into trade sanctions with a country like Russia, who doesn't give a fuck and will simply close its borders to everything. And then these debt-based economies like the United States that rely on exporting and trade, and everything that they sell to Russia suffers the worst dairy crisis in 30 years. Okay, that's the European Union's and the United States' version of how to harm another country by putting all their own people out of work, so that Russia suffers. Okay, next. Bullshit jobs. I love this one. Actually, this is actually relevant. 35% of Brits think that their job is pointless. Survey finds. I think that number's low. I think that if you actually brought government workers into that equation, you'd probably soon find that probably 70 to 80% of the population of this planet thinks their job is pointless and a bullshit job. And they would be right. Their job is bullshit. This is a tax-based economy. The more they can tax, the more the economy grows. There is no such thing as a sustainable economy and in this environment. Growth. There's no such thing as an economy that continues to grow forever. Anything larger than 0.00% growth is unsustainable. There's no such thing as anything bigger than 0.00% growth being sustainable. It's actually an impossibility. Do the math. Think about that for a moment. And unfortunately, you're stuck in that kind of an economy, and you're given a bullshit job just to keep the economy going. Well, fuck. What do we need you to do tomorrow today? Okay. We need you to stare at a computer screen all fucking day and make it look like you're doing something so that we can pay you, so that you can pay taxes, which goes to the government to pay another 3 people who do nothing but stare at computer screens all fucking day and do nothing. So those people have taxes that come off their paycheck that go towards funding 10 other people that stare at a computer screen all fucking day and do absolutely nothing. That's what this economy is. It's bullshit. Everybody's job is bullshit. It's paper. It's bullshit. It's nothing. We lead useless, unproductive fucking lives, and that's why everybody's miserable. No one does anything. Everybody's depressed. Suicides are at an all-time fucking high, and everybody just wants to go home and escape their life so fucking badly they're willing to live someone else's life on TV every night, and so they tune into the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That's what's wrong with life today, period. So we need this new way of living, this new economy, this new system that does not rely on fake jobs created for the sole purpose of keeping you busy so that you can be taxed. That's madness, and that's what's going on. How do I know this? Next story. Obamacare fraud. Workers getting paid to do this. And there's a video. I'm not going to watch it. But this is the point of this story is, okay, lousy insurance at high costs, doctor and hospital shortages, a defective website, skyrocketing second-year rates, and far too few enrollments to make it economically viable. Welcome to Obama's idea of perfect American health care. A whistleblowing employee at an Obamacare facility says employees are being paid to do virtually nothing. And at times, 1,800 data entry processors are present to work on 30 healthcare applications. 30 healthcare applications. The report from KMOV-TV in St. Louis features an employee of Serco, a data processing company with a $1.2 billion contract for Obamacare work. The worker, whose voice is disguised to protect his identity, said there were some weeks that a data entry person would not process a single application. Instead, employees are staring at computer screens with little or no work to do and are told to sit at their computers and hit the refresh button every 10 minutes. Fox News reported Serco was given $1.2 billion to hire 1,500 workers to process paper applications for coverage. The employee said the company was being paid to have people on staff not necessarily accomplishing work. Moreover, he added, the company wants to hire more people even though we still don't have work. They're being paid by the government to hire people to do nothing to prop up this economy. That's what Obamacare is. And it's all circular. You're taxed to pay a guy to do nothing, who's taxed to pay another guy to do nothing, who's taxed to pay another guy to do nothing. That's what's going on in the United States right now. Why is there even still the pretense of an economy or people having jobs? Because apparently the corporation is being given $1.2 billion to hire people to stare at computer screens who are doing nothing. Not a fucking thing. That is the new economy of the United States of America. That's what production is. That's considered a productive employee in today's day and age. I'm telling you that if people stay part of this bullshit make-believe economy that they're making look like exists, that's where the big fall is coming. Okay, it's not in currency devaluation. It's not gold. It's nothing else. It's because one day everybody's going to wake up and realize that 300 million people are being paid to sit and stare at computer screens and do nothing, and nothing's being produced, and everybody's fucking starving. That's what's going to happen. Next. Former DIA agent. I don't even know what the fuck the DIA is. How many agencies does this government have? Former DIA agent states that Obama created ISIS to overthrow Syria. Again, no shit. And the only thing I'm going to mention about this, because the story goes on to talk about how this basically shot them in the foot, and these people are now rebelling against the United States, and they're now more of a problem against the United States than they are of help overthrowing Assad. I mean, gee, who didn't see that one coming? Next question is, why? Why is the U.S. government paying all this money to create bullshit, non-existent terror groups on the other side of the planet to overthrow other governments when all they're doing at home is paying corporations to hire people to stare at computer screens? Like, this money couldn't be better used at home. Funding real jobs, giving grants to farmers to do something. Like, this shit that's the only reason this is relevant, is to make you people understand you have to fucking stop supporting these people at all. They're not your government. They're not a real government. They're not going to help you. They're not going to feed you. They're not going to put you to work. They're not going to do anything but kill you. And they're going to profit off it as long as humanly possible, right up until the day it actually happens. You need to stop. And this isn't just the United States, by the way, because the world, turns out, doesn't revolve around them. This is the same for every country that's having these problems, most notably Greece, Canada, let's see, all the European Union, Australia, New Zealand, almost all of South America, all of Africa for sure. Wait a minute. No, every country on the planet is having the same problem right now, with exception, actually, I hate to say, possibly Russia, because their people are actually growing food. I think they're up about 80% now of their domestic food supply is grown by just family farms on 5 hectares of land with no machinery, no farm equipment. So they're going to be just fine. You guys are all fucked when this all comes down. If gasoline stopped running tomorrow, you guys aren't eating by Friday. That's tomorrow. So there's a problem, and this isn't something that you need to go on to and start listening to Alex Jones and listen to how bad this shit is every single day. We know stuff's bad. So we really need people to get on board the whole solution train at this point. Like, look, there's people out there, groups, organizations like us that are putting ourselves out there, putting our lives on the line, putting everything on the line to try to get people going in the same direction to start building our own new governments and societies and economies and institutions and things that are for us, that are of benefit, and actually have to operate, using principles and things that actually benefit the planet in sustainable ways. And I don't mean sustainable like what the U.S. government has identified sustainable as, which means depopulation and murdering everybody, so the only thing that's left is them and all the land. So again, with everything going on back home in the United States of America, the U.S. government is among other things, for instance, Ukraine, they're worried about inventing terrorist regimes on the other side of the planet to try to overthrow Syria. That's their concern, not the American people. Same thing in Canada. They don't give a shit about the people here. It's about denouncing Russia from invading the Ukraine or something else that the ministers in Canada are now involved in, or trying to railroad the Iran nuclear deal to make Israel happy, or something that has nothing to do with Canada. Not a fucking thing to do with Canada. Stuff that I don't give a shit about and nobody should give a shit about. That's what they're concentrating on. And that's where, if I paid taxes, that's where my money would be going. But of course, since I don't pay into that, they'll just throw me in jail for 16 months instead because, well, I'm not funding their regime, their terrorist regime, so I should just be put on ice for a little while. So I'm not their biggest fan. If I can help crater their institution faster, I will. So that's my new mission in life. Okay. Here's something interesting. Memorandum of law lays bare the hoax that is the Internal Revenue Code. We know it's a hoax. We know it's crap. We know it's garbage, but they actually want you to read all through this as a distraction. And these governments know that people are catching on, so they're going to start to help this movement at some point in the very near future. They're going to help the demise of the previous system they have going, and I will bet my life that within the next year or two, you're going to see these governments start to introduce legislation that's going to replace this completely with a fair system, a fair tax system where, oh, we're not going to tax anybody anymore. You're all free to work. We're not going to tax you directly. In fact, we're going to give you a check for $5,000 every year just for remaining part of our system because we want things to be fair across the board. Now, sorry for that little scam we pulled in you guys for the last 100 years, and we really need you to prop up our regimes by believing in us and believing that we're an authority and believing that you need us. So we're now willing to pay you. So now you don't have to pay us anymore. We're going to pay you to remain a part of this system. And all they're going to do, of course, is they're going to force you to have to use their services still. And they're going to jack up the rates of those services so that you're actually paying more than you ever would have had you just remained paying income taxes, as long as they maintain power and maintain you coming to them for business, open for business. As long as you keep coming to their counter for business, they don't care what they have to do. They need you to remain a part of what they're doing. That's what gives them their authority and their power. And plus, as we discussed in one of the previous episodes, of course, the obligation that attaches to you by accepting any benefits of their system is that your life has been pledged to that democracy, to that institution. So once your life is pledged to them, all your property becomes theirs. They own it all. You are now them. They own it all. And I think we talked about that in one of the previous shows, and we're going to do that again probably in the very near future if I remain unkilled. But that's one of the problems with their system, is to be a part of it, to accept any benefits of being a member of that system, a citizen. Some people call them citizens. I prefer the word citizen. So to remain a citizen of their democracy, the obligation that comes with the benefit is it's as if you had pledged your life to that institution. Now, in the United States, they actually do a Pledge of Allegiance. And the minute you pledge your life to that organization, your life belongs to that organization. It's now their property. They own it. You don't own you anymore. They do. So technically speaking, when you file income taxes and you pay them 30% of whatever you made, it's actually, you have to look at it from the reverse now, because they own your life, which means they own your labor, they own your thoughts, they own everything. They're actually doing you they're doing you a favor. They're allowing you to keep 70% of something that's actually theirs. The 70% they let you keep still belongs to them. That's why the IRS can just come take it whenever they want. Buy a house with that money, guess what? Still theirs. They'll just come take the house. Do anything with that money, it's theirs. They'll come take it because they own it all the minute you pledge your life to their institutions. That's why there's a Pledge of Allegiance. You pledge everything to them. You don't own it anymore now. Now you are their property, which means you must obey their rules. That's what acts and statutes are, government rules and regulations. So Okay, they're starting to catch on. Yeah, let's let it be known this is all a hoax and it was bad, and we'll spank a couple of people that are dead for causing this hoax 60 years ago and letting it go on this long, and maybe we'll dig up their bodies and we'll drag him into court like one of the popes did there with his predecessor, and we'll convict him after death and rebury his bones or burn them or shit on them or something. I have no idea. Something just as preposterous to keep the circus alive and get you believing in it again and make you think you're going to get a check for $5,000 and not be taxed anymore in exchange for even worse services than you currently get at 10 times the price, which will actually cost you more in the end. So there's the scam. Remember, I said that a couple of years from now, should I remain unkilled and I'm still around, then I will be here to gloat and to collect my bounty for my prediction. So, Greek lawmakers discuss bailout bill, aiming for vote ahead of Friday Eurozone meeting. How long has Greece been in like a bailout bankrupt phase with everybody panicking about this now? Like this has been going on for years. Like, are they bankrupt or are they not? What the fuck is going on? Why does this keep coming up in the news? Why are they always going broke? Why does this matter to anybody? How is it allowed to continue? Why is there even still a government? If they're bankrupt, why aren't the doors closed the next day? That day, shut the doors, fire all the government workers, all of them. Okay, sorry, go home. It's been nice. We're done. We're not a government anymore. We couldn't manage anything properly. We're bankrupt. Sorry, guys. Burn the building down, whatever. I have no idea. But why the fuck is there meeting after meeting after meeting in Athens of an institution that apparently has no money and has no hope of ever being solvent, ever again? Why are they still having meetings? Why are they still deciding what's going to happen to the people of Greece? Why do they still exist? Why is this happening? The fact that people still believe in this shit is the biggest problem. Not Greece continually being broke and needing bailout after bailout. The problem is that the people keep buying into this. Oh, we have to do something about this. We should, let's go vote. Okay. Yep. We'll vote this problem away because these guys that are doing this are going to hear our voice and they're going to fix the problem at some point. I can't cross his finger because I don't have that one, but okay. I'm going to cross my fingers. I don't want to go out and do something for myself. I don't want to just, sit at home and plant a garden and feed myself and go to the beach and relax and maybe become an entrepreneur and, I don't know, grow enough food to feed to my neighbors. And when I have enough food left over and they're all starving, then I'll start charging a whole brick of gold for a sandwich and I'll start getting everybody's gold that way. I don't want to do that. That's too much work. I think I'm just going to sit around and starve and freak out for a few weeks and wait to see what happens with the government here. And maybe I'll go beg them a little bit, maybe hope that some new check comes in the mail and that, they just kind of maybe send somebody out to wash my clothes after that. And I'll just wait for all that to happen. I don't want to help myself. So I'm pretty powerless. I can't do anything. So next. It's all the same stuff. Nothing's changed in like 5 years now. I'm sure the Galactic Federation light's going to show up any minute now and help us change all this. Okay, what's going on now? Seattle restaurant sees success thanks to higher wages. So Seattle restaurant has raised menu prices 21% to allow them to pay the new $15 minimum wage to all employees 2 years ahead of schedule. Does everybody not realize that that's all that happens when the government mandates a new minimum wage? Is it the business that they work for has to raise their prices to pay them more. And then the customers using that business get charged more, which means those customers' expenses went up. So wherever they're working, they have to go and say, hey, boss, I need a raise. The cost of living just went through the roof because, well, the local restaurant now doubled their prices because they got to pay their employees a minimum of $15 an hour now. So now I need to make more money because my bills are all higher because these people raised their rates due to this new minimum wage. And that trickles down the economy to where everybody has to get paid more, which means everybody has to raise their rates. And then we wonder why there's runaway inflation. Did anybody's life improve by this? No. The guy who owns the house where one of these employees rents just had to raise the rent by 20% because it costs him more to go to the restaurant. So because he had to charge more rent, the person who's now making more minimum wage has to pay higher rent, which means they're not making anything more than they used to. Not a fucking thing. Because everything goes up in price now. So what just got solved by this? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. But man, it got you guys believing that the government does something and maybe you should vote because, oh, look at that, the government did something good. They raised minimum wage. That's good. Those people need a minimum standard of living. Well, that's not free market system, okay? That's communism right there when you set the minimum wage and tell people what they have to make. And of course, it doesn't solve any problems as we just discussed, but nobody thinks about that. Next, federal taxes hit record. $17,955 per worker. Gee, maybe that has something to do with inflation because everybody's making more because the minimum wage got jacked up. Just saying. Federal government raked in a record of approximately 2.6, I think that's trillion. I don't know. There's a lot of numbers after that. Let's see. Hang on. 1,000, million, billion, trillion. Yes. Okay. Federal government raked in a record of approximately $2.672 trillion in income tax revenues through the first 10 months of fiscal 2015. That equaled approximately $17,955 for every person in the country who had either a full-time or a part-time job in July. $2.7 trillion. And they're broke. They can't feed anybody. They can't fix their roads. Everyone's living on food stamps. Businesses are falling apart. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the United States. Everybody's starving. I think there's like 60 million people live in, I'm not going to answer the phone right now, live in abject poverty. Nothing's going on. Geez. But with $2.7 trillion, they can't fix any of this. Maybe it's because they're concentrating on spending all their money on bombing the shit out of Libya and killing Gaddafi, a man who actually housed his people and gave free education and housing to people, and could actually go drive around cities in Libya, and the people would run out from their shops to cheer him on, and he would shake their hands, and there was no fear of anybody murdering him, unlike this Chris whatever guy I just talked about earlier that apparently needs an entire army of people following him around so Americans actually don't rush out of the stores when he drives down the street to rip him limb from limb and tar and feather him and then shit on his rotting corpse afterwards. So maybe that's the problem. What could you do with $2.7 trillion just in income taxes? I don't think this is like sales taxes or any other kind of taxes they bring in, just in income taxes. What could be done with that money? Well, what could be done with that money and what is done with that money are two entirely separate things. And this is the other reason why people should just stop. Just stop. If they can't do anything right with $2.7 trillion in your income tax money, they don't deserve to be legitimate. They don't deserve your support. They don't deserve you voting. They don't deserve you to be on the voting roll. They don't deserve you being a citizen of their democracy. They don't deserve you pledging your life to that institution. That goes for Australia, that goes for New Zealand, that goes for Canada, that goes for everywhere in the European Union, that goes for everywhere. These people don't deserve you promising your life to them. They can't do it. They just can't do anything right. It's impossible. The system's not designed for them to help you. It's designed to steal from you, period. So leave. We can build better. We can do better. If you think you need them to feed you, you're going to be in for a nasty surprise when they stop doing that in the very near future, okay? So stop, please. Please stop supporting them. Stop acknowledging them. Stop reading the news stories about whatever catastrophe is happening today that you need them to protect you from. You don't. They're causing all of this. Next. Yeah. Federal taxes hit record. Well, that's pretty easy when you have runaway inflation. Okay. Next week, when a loaf of bread is worth $100 and minimum wage is increased to $50 an hour, well, I guarantee you there'll be a new record for how much the government takes in income tax revenues. That's what inflation does. That's the whole fucking point. That's why this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, and why this is even news. I can't believe it. So next, U.S. planes begin bombing ISIS in Syria from bases in Turkey. Okay, why does this involve Americans at all? Even if there was a problem there, which there wasn't before the Americans started it by pretending there was a civil war in Syria, which there was not. It was started by 60,000 mercenaries hired by the United States to go in and overthrow Assad, which didn't work, which means now they got to start bombing the shit out of Syria with warplanes like they did in Libya, costing everybody money. And that's why Americans can't eat. That's why their roads are falling apart. That's why nothing's going on in the United States, and they have a stagnant economy, and everybody's poor and getting poorer, is because apparently we need to bomb the shit out of Syria for some unknown reason, as well as the other 180 countries around the world that the United States either engaged in clandestine warfare, murdering people, funding terrorists, funding opposition groups, funding democratic organizations in Russia, you name it. If it's dirty in the world somewhere, the U.S. government is funding it, and that's where all your money is going. Why are you a part of that? So that's just the news stuff going on in the world today. That is the fear-mongering you normally see on Alex Jones and Prison Planet about all the bad stuff going on in the world. Bad, 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 bad. Everything's bad. You can't do anything about it. Just the ovens are going to get fired up soon. We're all going to die. Whatever else is going on for fear-mongering, I really have no idea. I was just informed, I'd say about 40 minutes ago, that you're losing the top of my head because I was leaning into the screen, so that's okay. I was reading, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's here for my good looks. Maybe a couple are. I have no idea. So, I'm kidding. So, this is why we're trying to come up with a solution to this stuff. And man, the proposition I made a few years back for this, for our own governments, for our own self-government, for our own institutions, start building something for us. That's the one thing they don't want us doing. That's why I spent 16 months in jail. That's why I was arrested at the Hamilton conference. They're trying to hijack this movement now. They're starting to create their own alternative groups, so to speak, to be popular solutions to the current problem, because of course they want to be the solution to the problem, which is them in the first place. That's how they maintain control. So, and I find it amusing that I've got all these people on the internet that have videos about Dean Clifford the fraud. He's a scam artist. He's this, he's that. It's hilarious. And these guys are working day and night on this, which makes me wonder what they actually do for a living and how they eat, because they just seem to have all time in the world to devote to making videos about what a con man I am. I mean, I'm only funding like 7 terrorist organizations around the world right now to topple governments, and I'm clearly I'm from small potatoes compared to U.S. government. No. Why am I the con man? Because I suggested that we form a co-op that's a community-based crowdfunding initiative, and that's what we're doing right now. That's what our organization is now. We've launched it. It's kind of pre-launch right now, really, just to get interest going in it. And I'm going to be a big part of this movement, as long as people actually want something to happen on this planet. I got better things to do than die. Be shot. I got better things to do than go to prison for 16 months for trying to fight for everybody's freedom and better food and for people to have an enjoyable life. I got better things to do than that. I could just go to my farm and just enjoy myself out there and be left alone and pay the $300 in property taxes that they seem to want for a chunk of land that I own, and then and have no problems and just relax and have a family and not have none of these issues, until things get much worse and until they decide that I'm not allowed to keep my own food that I grow anymore, and they come with guns and they just take everything, just like what happened when with communism in 1917 in Russia. So I could be doing all that kind of stuff. I've lost they've come and they've seized more property than most people have ever earned in their lives from me that I've earned from my construction work. But I'm a con man. And I'm telling everybody to go out and do this for themselves. Don't even join my group. Don't even listen to me. Go do your own research. Start your own group, please. Apparently, I'm conning you by doing that. So I'm not sure what the con is yet. I'm sure they'll come up with some angle. But my favorite one. This is great. The best one I've heard so far. I haven't gone to watch the video because really I have better things to do with my time. I actually was just going to stare at the wall for a little while after I'm done the show tonight. But I was actually told that one of the videos I'd done previously, 2 summers ago now, where I was just kind of taking a piss out of people, and I was standing on top of one of the project, my construction projects there that we just done some framing at that day, and I had my tool belt on with my tools and my cordless framing nailer, my PAS load there, and all this other stuff, and just talking to people. Well, apparently somebody actually took the time to debunk that video and has proposed the absurd concept that I actually don't work for a living. I don't do anything. I'm not even a contractor. I don't know anything about construction. The tool belt I was wearing was brand new and was a prop, which I find interesting because it's in the trunk of my car in Hamilton right now that I took with me on the road so I could help people out with working wherever I was when I was traveling across Canada. So apparently it was a prop. And maybe even the job site was too. I don't really work, and that's actually just a part of my scam to get people to donate money to a non-existent movement. But that's just how pathetic this stuff has gotten. That there's people out there that actually are spending time and resources and energy trying to convince other people that I'm a fraud because my tool belt was brand new. And it was it was a prop that I purchased just to say, hey, look at me, everybody. I'm a contractor, like it's like I'm a fucking clown wearing a costume or something. That's how pathetic this shit has gotten. I don't respond to it for the most part. I don't see any point. I actually recommend other people. They don't even give the videos views because it seems to only encourage the morons that make these things. Go ahead. Go and watch the circus of ignorance. It's actually unbelievable. Apparently it's highly entertaining. I don't know. I won't go there myself. And they try to chase me through Facebooks, with my my upcoming incarceration. It's never happened. Apparently I was convicted unbeknownst to me, and I'm going to jail again in November because I'm not there right now, but I will be at some point apparently in the near future, I guess. I don't know, but some of these stupid ideas that people have out there because they just don't get it. They don't get what's going on. They have no idea what goes on in the courtrooms. They just don't want to believe this stuff no matter what. And they don't want to be a part of the solution. So they're just going to try to get you guys to stay there with them. I want you here with me. I don't feel so alone when there's a million other retards that are buying into the same scam. I don't have to fight. I don't have to stand up for myself. I don't have to stop being a coward. I don't have to be brave and fight and go out and do something and try to build something and be a part of something. All I got to do is convince other people that this is all nonsense and we should just stay supporting government maybe. And then at least, idiots of a feather flock together, and I'll feel better about things at that point. That or they simply can't do anything of their own. So they need to attack other people to try to legitimize themselves or make other people look good or something, so that they don't have to go and do anything original of their own. Just no originality whatsoever. I'm just going to try to take away from somebody else's momentum. So I'm just not even bothering to address those kind of things anymore. It actually just takes away from your energy. And why would I ever try convincing somebody out there that would go to the extent of believing or trying to portray me as wearing a brand new tool belt as a prop to make people believe I'm in construction, to discredit me? Why would I even address it? Is it even possible for me to convince somebody like that of anything to the contrary? I could fly that guy, whoever it is, to Manitoba, put him in a lawn chair, and have him watch me work for 2 weeks straight. And the guy would still say, Well, that doesn't mean you work when I'm gone. This is all just this is part of the scam. All you had to do was put in 2 weeks right now to convince me that and to get me on your side, and people start sending donations in again, and the scam continues. So you can't convince people like that. There there's something wrong up here. That's the cognitive dissonance that goes on out there when people are just so opposed to a new viewpoint that they will do anything to try to discredit it or stop other people from believing it or stop the people that are trying to do it from doing it to justify their position that they want to maintain, which is the belief or the continuance of an existing body of government, belief, dogmatic institution of slavery, whatever you want to call it. So it's really just quite sad. So I got people contacting me like, well, Dean, how come you're not addressing any of these things? And well, if any of these people actually did publish one correct fact, in fact, I'll even make that a challenge. If they even got one of their facts correct, I would address it. And unfortunately, none of them have yet. It's kind of like the Sandy Hoax shooting. There's recently a guy online now who has offered up $25,000 for a reward to anybody that can come up with an actual proof that Sandy Hook happened. It's a pretty bold move. I like that. I think no one's ever going to collect on that. I think that there is no proof that Sandy Hook happened. I would think that if Sandy Hoax did happen, that at least one family could come forward with proof that they have a dead kid somewhere as a result of the shooting that allegedly happened and collect that $25,000. No one's going to because it didn't happen. So I like that. It's along the same lines here. It's almost like I almost want to give a reward if somebody can come up with an actual fact of something that really happened in the proper context. That are coming out in these debunking videos. It's really pathetic. It would be amusing if I cared enough to watch, but like I said, I got some grass growing outside that I can go watch and grow. And I can already see the new videos coming out tomorrow morning on this already. Dean admits he's got grass. Yeah. So yeah, and the most amusing part of this all yet is the Dean's con man pothead movement. I've actually never smoked pot in my life. Never. I got friends that come over and they smoke pot all the time, and they've asked me if I want a hoot, and I've politely declined my entire life since my friends started when they were probably 12, I think, when I grew up in Winnipeg. So that's the most amusing and ironic part of all of this is I've actually never smoked pot in my life. I have no need. I kind of got other things going on in my life. So we're building a new organization. We got a website. I'm not going to send you guys there yet. We're going to do this again next week. I'm going to start answering emails though on these shows. We're going to start getting some emails. You know what? Last time I was on the show here, I was actually so burnt out. I think I even got my own website address wrong. I think I actually sent people to like deanclifford.com or something. I was just so tired, so overwhelmed. I wasn't thinking straight. Steven got a hold of me, texted me right away, and he's like, deanclifford.info with like exclamation marks. I was like, oh shit, that's embarrassing. I just got the name of my own website wrong. So yeah, turns out I get details wrong sometimes. So we haven't updated the new site yet. We're going to, deanclifford.info. The information is still old, but I'm just kind of coming out of seclusion again now and starting to write some new about pages and starting to teach some law stuff again, which we're not concentrating on now. There's only so many roads you can go down that avenue to find out that it's all a scam anyways. That's just another movement, the free man movement, designed to keep us running on the hamster wheel within their system. So I want nothing to do with that anymore either. I just want to build. I want a whole new society. We'll decide what the laws are in that society, and then that matter is now settled. If we want to call this a scallywag, then this will now become a scallywag. Could you please pass me that scallywag? Well, in our system, in our society, this is now a scallywag. This is no longer a pen. So when you become a member of our society, what we say is the law is the law. That's what a society is. And we're going to pass just laws. We're going to make, we don't even need to even, they already exist. They're already there. The laws that are going to be made are going to be laws that restrict what would be a governing authority and force them to recognize only men and women and not recognize the existence of corporations or body politics or corporate persons or juridic persons or any of this horse shit. We're just going to throw that all in the garbage, get rid of politics as we know it, get rid of the law system as we know it, start over, an agreement between the people that join the movement, the party, and we're just going to start over. We're going to be the Thrive movement that does something. Not just a million people that sign up for a group and then start talking about shit and never actually do anything. Okay, nice try. The Zeitgeist movement, where did that go? Millions of people got together, motivated by Zeitgeist, and then did nothing. Greenpeace, an organization that's probably received billions in contributions and funding over the years. Why isn't anybody attacking Greenpeace and calling them con men and con artists? I mean, if I collected several $100 million in donations and then all I did was jump off my own roof with a parachute, or maybe jump off my own balcony onto a trampoline, or I don't know, maybe I'll go motor gliding across Winnipeg or something like that. Like my friend that got arrested for doing that, and just do a huge publicity stunt, and everybody can go, oh, that's what he did with that $278 million. He fucking parachuted off the cooling tower. Oh, okay, yep, that wasn't a scam. I feel like I got value for my money in that situation. I received value. I feel good about that now. I don't feel like they scammed me at all. So I'm going to give more money to Greenpeace. No, okay, we want to be the organization that actually takes in contributions from our members and actually does something like buy land, build farms, buy biodiesel, batching plants, build things, produce things, create jobs for our members, create homes for our members, tiny homes on farms, farmers markets. Yeah, we want to be the movement that does something. So that's who we are, and we're building that right now. But I think that people are under the mistaken impression as well, is that we're going to be able to start, like, come out of the gates with like a multi-billion-dollar organization that already has all this infrastructure built, and that's an unrealistic expectation. I'm not going to build a house with my own money and my own labor and then invite the world in and feed everybody. Unfortunately, we're going to start with a blank piece of land somewhere, both in reality and metaphorically speaking, and we're going to build from there with rules regarding sustainability and land use and what we encourage our members to do by defunding these institutions, these governments, these corporations, and basically making it'll be a voluntary contribution based society, which means that we're only going to be able to produce and grow in accordance with what our members help build. Help. When I say help, I mean, I've received offers from people who want to fly here from the other side of the world. Some of them I've accepted because they actually are going to come here to do specific things that I don't have time for or I can't do. But there's other people that have offered to show up here from the other side of Canada, the other side of the United States, the other side of the world, and be put to work. And there's only so much that I need. I don't need 1,000 people standing in a field, staring at a building site, waiting for me to tell them to do something. Okay, like I only need about 5 people. I already have the 5 people I need anytime I ever need labor right now because things are still pretty small. But what we need is materials. And unfortunately, those don't just manifest out of nothing, contrary to popular belief. I know there's all these visionaries out there that have said, no, everything exists now. We don't need money. Leave that all behind. The food will manifest in your fridge. And if you just show up there on Saturday to start doing the work at your property, the building materials will manifest if you believe in them. This idiocy that I don't even know where these people come from, that just believe this stuff is all just going to manifest. No, it won't. Unfortunately, again, money's not evil. It's a means to an end. Money doesn't enslave you. You enslave you by getting into debt and other stupid things that you do with money. Again, hammers don't enslave people. Guns don't enslave people. The guy that picks up a gun and points it at somebody and says, get the fuck to work, that guy is enslaving somebody. The gun didn't. The gun allowed him to do it. If nobody in the world had hammers, except for me, I had a hammer, I could go around and threatening everybody and saying, do this or I'm going to bash your fucking head in right now. The hammer is not inherently evil. It's what I'm using it for. So I'm doing something bad with the hammer. Okay? I could smash myself in the head with the hammer and kill myself. Is the hammer evil? No, I'm an idiot. I just killed myself. So money is not evil at all. Right now, let's say it even does prop up their regime in the meantime. We still have to build our alternative economy before we can even go to it. So that $20 that people spend on beer or cigarettes could go towards building things over here. So all the people out there that think that we're con artists just because we want them to donate and help contribute to this member-based projects that we have going on, well, I'm not going to try to convince you people anymore. I don't care. Just don't come. Don't become a member. Actually, I don't want you around. You would be like one of the 1,000 people standing in a field waiting for materials to manifest so we can start building. It's not. That doesn't help me. So we're trying to make this as easy as humanly possible for people. We don't want you to go out and march in the streets and start a revolution or a half-volution. Because, of course, if you start a revolution, you just go around 360 degrees and be right back where you are. That's what one revolution is. So maybe a half revolution, like a half-volution, so you're at least like 180 degrees, like you're going back the other way. I don't think we need to go back the other way. So we don't need any of that kind of stuff. We don't need a march against Monsanto movement unless, like I said, that movement decided to stop protesting against Monsanto and everybody pooled all their resources together and just created something new that made Monsanto irrelevant. So we didn't have to protest against the government and demand that they save us again, pass a law forcing Monsanto to grow organic food. That's a great idea. Let's pass a law forcing somebody to do something. That's just what we need more of. We need governments to pass more laws forcing people to do things, not because they should do it or they want to do it or just because I want to eat better food. We need a bigger institution that taxes the fuck out of us even more to force corporations to produce what we want, like food I could go grow in my garden right now. So this is the mad. I understand what's going on. We're just so used to these institutions that people believe we need them. We don't. We can build better. And again, if you think I'm a con man, fine. Believe me, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Go start something of your own. Instead of spending all your time and energy trying to discredit me and try to prove that I'm wearing a fake tool belt, go start something. And then when you have a group of 10,000 people and you've done something really impressive, you can come back and say, ha, told you you're a fucking loser. Look what I did. I built all this while you're still back here doing this. You want to beat me and make me look like a fool? That's the way to do it. When you make a video trying to say that I'm wearing a fake tool belt and I really don't build houses, you just make yourself look like a fool. That's all you do. And you're certainly not helping the world. I would be happier. If somebody made me look like a fool by accomplishing 100 times what I accomplished with this idea, or just by changing the world in a good way, you think I'd be mad? I'd be like, fuck, dude, right on. Thank God. At least somebody did something better than me. Good, great. Now I don't have to work as fucking hard anymore. I can actually start sleeping at night because I'm not so worried about this world slipping into a fucking absolute nightmare, a hell on earth of corporations, like out of the movie Idiocracy. That's great. You're actually making my job easier. Thank you. Make me look like a fool like that. So I encourage that. My good, compete against this. Oh my God, create a competing organization. See if you can grow yours faster than us. Grow yours faster than me because you came up with a better
institution, a better organization, a better way of crowdfunding projects. And you are even more selfless than me, and you're living in your own little straw bale house with almost nothing in it because you don't need fuck all, which is my plan for myself. As long as I've got food and I don't know, a wood stove and I can survive the winter. I'm actually pretty good. Maybe a wife and kids might be nice at this point too. When we get to that, as soon as we can find somebody that wants to be around a guy who's likely to be assassinated at any point during any given day. So yeah, create your own. I talked about this at the end of last week's show. So I'm going to start the comeback with the same talk that I had last time. And that is that people need to get out. You have the right to go and just simply opt out. Say, you know what? I no longer want to contribute to your economic, social, and cultural development, Canada, Her Majesty, that organization. I'm done. I want nothing to do with you people. I don't benefit by contributing to your social, economic, and cultural development. The International Covenant on Social and Political Rights says that I can choose to not do that. So this is a big point that I am going to cover some law stuff in some of the videos coming up here in the near future about where a lot of people are going wrong in the courts and with their claims, and their claims are correct. And so we'll get slightly off topic here and get into what kind of the problem is. The problem is in the practical application of people's rights. So okay, I got a glass of water right here. We'll just do a quick little demonstration. I claim the right to drink from that glass of water. Everybody out there is kind of like, all right, it's your glass of water, go ahead. That's what's going on in the courts. I'm claiming the right to do this. All right, no one's arguing with you. No, I claim the right to drink that water right now. All right. No, I claim the right to drink that water right now. Okay. And I'm claiming the right to drink that water right now. This is what's going on in the courtroom. People are just claiming, I claim the right to do that. 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 And everybody's sitting there going, okay, what the fuck is your point? You're not saying anything. Because we don't move on to the practical application of that, which is, and I'm exercising that right by taking a drink of water right now. I choose to exercise that right. I'm actually going to do it. So I claim the right to do it, but now I'm actually going to do it. Those are two entirely separate things. Claiming the right to do something and then letting somebody know you're exercising the right to actually do it and doing it are two different things. Okay? Very big point of law that we're going to get into in another video as to why they don't give a shit when you keep claiming you have the right to do something. So that's a big problem, and we're going to get into that. But I don't want everybody following me. I don't want everybody everybody. They call it the everybody's blind to the Dean Clifford cult. I just jump and everybody who listens to me says how high, like it's just gospel, and that's not the case. Go do your own thing. I don't give a shit. I'm just offering a solution. If you want to be part of it, come be a part of it. If you think it's a bad idea and you don't want to be a part of it, well, fuck off. Go do your own thing. I don't give a shit. If I'm building a barn on my property and you want to come help me build it because I tell you can use the barn anytime you want to afterwards, come help me build the barn. But don't show up on my property when I'm building a barn and say, you're a fucking idiot, Dean. You shouldn't be building a barn. That's a waste of fucking time. And that's not even a real barn in the first place. Okay? Fuck off. Get off my yard, man. I'm building a barn. Just get the fuck out of here. And then the guy goes and makes a video about this non-existent barn that I'm making and how stupid the barn is, and I shouldn't have a barn on my property, like anybody gives a fuck. That's how nonsensical this stuff is. It's how stupid it is, and why anybody would give it any standing, any substance. I really don't know. So the law stuff is very relevant. We need to make sure that we abandon these systems and just get rid of them altogether. Again, I spoke about this last time. We need people creating their own constitutions, their own governments. All a government is, when they're legitimate and they're real, unlike the fake ones provided for us, like an out-of-the-box government, just open the box and here's your government. We made it for you. How very North American. We can create our own governments with constitutions. It just means that, hey, me and this group of people came together and we decided we're going to govern our own lives in a particular manner. And here's how we're going to govern our lives in this particular manner. That's the Constitution. You all join that. You all agree you're going to do something, and maybe there's penalties if you don't. Or maybe you just create a group that just says, okay, well, you could just leave anytime because we're just going to be honest and forthright with our people. And there's no penalties if you choose to just walk away, because you have the right to just walk away, and we don't feel the need to beat people and jail them for nothing just to keep them here as part of the deceit and the fear and the want that we create to make them believe they need us. So we could do that. We could create a government that doesn't recognize corporations or doesn't do business with corporations and promotes individualism and family farms and bans GMOs and pesticides and chemicals, prohibits their use on anybody's land that wants to become a member of an organization like, the Earth Stewardship Cooperative, which is my organization. There's all sorts of things we could do, and we just need to do them and stop believing that, the next vote is going to change the government that we didn't create in the first place. So people just need to think about that kind of stuff and realize the kind of power that brings about. In fact, I don't want my organization to be the only one out there. You want to talk about painting a big target on me? Holy fuck! Like I don't want to die. I don't want to be killed. I don't want to be the leader of a worldwide organization that fucking destroys governments everywhere it goes, because they'll fucking kill me. It'd be great if they got to that point. I don't want it to be. Bipolar worlds are great. Multipolar, where there's not just two governments, but I got to be careful. Multipolar, there's all these different organizations all over the planet. There's no chaos. There's no confusion. There is anarchy is okay. Everybody talks bad about anarchy, and again, as I've previously discussed, all anarchy is a complete absence of government, where people govern their own actions in accordance with moral principles and mutual respect. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So I'm okay with an organization of people to do that. We can't be scared of a tool, a hammer, just because hammers have been used to bash people's heads in. Well, guns are bad. Guns kill people. No, bad people with guns kill people. Good people with guns save people from bad people with guns. That's just the way life is, okay? But I really don't think we need to be supporting governments anymore that maintain standing armies. So again, as I suggested before, maybe anybody starting a new organization somewhere in the world could put in their mandate, put in their government that they create, in their constitution that can never be changed, ever, or be added to with amendments that are designed to change the meaning of the Constitution. Because if people decided maybe they could do better than the current Constitution, they'll just make a new one, and then we have a new government. That's what evolution is. So maybe they could put right in that Constitution that it's against the law to maintain a standing army, and that we're discouraged from doing trade or business or entering into contracts with any other institution in the world that maintains a standing army. I mean, maybe that's a little drastic. I don't know. You'd probably be killed for doing that, just on the chance that you ever did create a large organization of people that then rendered most governments around the world non-existent. So who knows? These people will do anything probably to maintain power. I just simply don't care. I'm not going to live in a shitty world just to save my own skin. So I want other people doing this. I want everybody doing this. Go out and start your own cooperative. Go out and start your own community. Go out and start your own everything. I don't care. And I think the best thing that could happen is 90% unemployment in all of these countries. It's the best thing that can happen to us is if our economies completely crashed. And okay, let the bankers take all the houses back. Well, I don't want to lose my home, Dean. Why? You're a debt slave to that house. You'd be better off if the bank came and locked the doors and you went and lived on a tent in the front yard. You'd be better off. At least your entire paycheck would go into your savings that you would withdraw immediately and put into more useful, practical applications. So there's so many better things we can do. And also, That's not even a threat anymore. What are they going to do? Are they going to kick 10 million people out of their homes in the United States? Are they going to have 10 million empty homes with nobody making mortgage payments around the United States? I think that it would be great if instead of a march against Monsanto protest, everybody organized a stop paying your mortgage protest. And 10 million people got together and stopped paying their mortgages altogether. That would pretty much settle the problem in one night. It's done. The whole mortgage scam would be over. Every bank in fucking North America would go bankrupt in one fucking day. Why aren't we doing that instead of marching against Monsanto? Monsanto's none of your fucking business. They're a private corporation making products that people are buying. If you don't like it, quit fucking buying it. Don't protest against them. Quit fucking buying it. That's all you got to do. You don't like Starbucks? Quit buying it. Don't protest against them. You don't like the American government? Quit fucking voting. Don't keep giving them 30% of your paycheck and pledging your fucking life to their flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Yeah, drool falls out. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah. All the flag waving retards out there, you are propping up these regimes that are causing every problem in your life. Every fucking problem in your life. But you've been convinced you need these people. No. So, and again, all these people that tell me, well, I never pledged my life to these people. Well, no, you did. You did. If you're American, every week you're pledging allegiance to a fucking flag. Are you kidding me? You would die. You would kill people on the other side of the planet and you would die for a flag? Really? A fucking flag? Not your family's life or not anything else. Maybe you mistakenly believe that flag somehow protects your family, which it doesn't. That's another matter altogether. But these are the kind of things that need to be addressed. So you need to realize the scam that's going on, which is your continued participation in these events. And these political debates are part of the circus. They're part of the show. I think they even call it that. It's a political circus. It's meant to entertain you and keep you talking about them because now they're relevant in your life. They have some relevancy. You believe they are something to you, which is the reason I'm not in jail right now, is because that was about the only defense I even gave at my trial. For the people that have no understanding of what happened at any of my hearings and never will, they'll just make presumptions. I sat there and didn't answer to one fucking thing that went on there because it doesn't matter what their accusations are. My only answer is, okay, let's say I did that. The fuck's it to you? What the fuck is it to you? Who the fuck are you? Mr. Clifford, your lawnmower, when you mow your lawn, cuts the lawn to 5 inches. Let me adjust my black robe of authority moment here. And the municipal bylaw for your area says the grass is to be 4.5 inches. And the inspector measured your lawn and it was a half an inch too long. And how do you plead to the charges? What do you mean, how do I plead to those charges? Number one, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? And what the fuck is that to you? What fucking business is it of yours? It's none of your fucking business. That's what, but people believe that, oh, well, there's a free man argument that's going to get me out of this. No, you're just, by even entertaining them, by taking part in what's going on, that's what gives them authority. If you believe you owe that guy an explanation of some way, in any way, or an excuse of some kind, by day 4, I was being begged to enter the conversation, the courtroom. Begged. The people that were there, witnesses, when they left that later that day, they were like, what the fuck happened in there, man? For half an hour, I was begged to offer up a defense, an excuse of some kind, a reason as to why what happened happened, a plausible explanation of some kind, something. Just play the game, Mr. Clifford. Those are the actual words. Play the game. Mr. Clifford, take part in this. Partake in this play that's going on. Play the game. Get in the hockey game so that we can enforce the rules of hockey on you. No. Why am I not in jail right now? Because what the fuck is it to you, what I did on my front lawn? Who the fuck are you that you think I must offer up an explanation to you? I don't owe you an explanation. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. I don't know who you are. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't want to explain my actions to you. I don't owe you an explanation or an excuse or anything. You're nothing to me. Who the fuck are you to me? And that's what you need to start asking yourself when it comes to government. All these other institutions and organizations around the planet, and stop believing that they are something to you, that they have meaning in your life. They don't. But that's what gives them authority. That's what gives them standing. They exist because you believe in them. Okay? Isn't that what make-believe is? Make you believe it? I'm going to make you believe this horseshit. I'm going to make you believe that my opinion of what you have done with your life matters to you. Okay? So I'm going to throw chains on you, lock you up in jail for 16 months, drag you into courtroom, and make you believe that you owe me an explanation. Well, I'm sorry, but even 16 months in jail is not going to make me believe your fucking stupid bullshit. And it didn't. And that's why I'm not in jail, and that's why I'm not going to be in jail. You can't bullshit somebody when they stop believing in you. And they need your consent. They need you to take part in these hearings. So we are going to get into some of the law stuff about why a lot of these common law arguments, yeah, they are irrelevant. They're absolutely fucking irrelevant. Because that's not somebody you should be explaining your life to in the first place. So future shows, we're probably going to have some callers. We're going to have, I'm going to answer emails. I think at the deanclifford.info website, there's some links there to where you can email me questions at deanclifford.info, I think, or something like that. I think the link is on the website. I got to go back. Actually, I've been pretty busy the last little while, but I'm home now. My office is kind of back together now. I got both my monitors here, and I'm getting back into the fray, and I'm writing some new material to go up on that website to direct people to our new website. It's up. I've got a profile there right now, but it's not to the point where I want people signing up yet and to become members. There's a few other things we want to work out on it yet. And by the way, that was completely crowdfunded from a Facebook group. The new website, it was my test to see if people really did want to get involved, and if they didn't, I was just going to say fuck it and go do my own thing on my farm from now on. I've got a video coming out soon where I speak to this, where I basically just tell people, hey, if you want me to do something, to lead something for you guys to get involved in, I'll do it. But you guys got to start helping me to help you. You got to start getting involved. You got to show me that this isn't just wasted effort on my part. I'm not just out here killing myself for nothing. You gotta man up. You gotta big up here. You gotta, and by man again, I mean mankind and not the feminist. I didn't say woman, so I'm offended. Both males and females of mankind need to get involved and start showing me that they do want change. They do want to get involved. They do want to help us. And fuck, I'll do anything. I will fight to the fucking death to help people. I've done it. I've proven myself. I got nothing else to prove now. I've been doing it for years. So just get involved. And if you don't want to support me or help me, then do your own thing. But please, just fucking do something. Just the apathy needs to stop. So email us. Go to the website, deanclifford.info. If you're on Facebook, go to my page, Dean C. Clifford, and you'll be directed to join the Earth Stewardship Cooperative, which has, I think, almost 800 members now after 1 week and 1 day. That's pretty good. Not everybody's contributed. I don't expect them to until we get the new site up and running, and we get the video up explaining everything and show everybody the farm where I'm going to be this weekend, by the way, building fencing and installing a new watering station for the cattle. That has all been funded already from the Facebook group before we even have a website. So I've been really motivated by what's happening right now because people are getting involved and they are getting motivated and they are getting excited. We've been contacted by a few people all over the world now in 5 different countries who said, man, I want to pledge my land to this group when you guys are up and running. What do I have to do so that you guys can start doing your projects on my land? My land basically becomes a part of your organization. Bam, we'd be in 5 countries around the world already. We could have 1,000 members by the end of the day tomorrow if we really tried. And again, what could you do with 1,000 members? Well, again, just, A minimum contribution of $15 a month from 1,000 people is $15,000 a month that we could build stuff with. It's just a starting point to start to build farms and show progress and get people believe like, oh yeah, we can do stuff. We're not powerless. Okay, I can't go and buy a chunk of land myself. I don't have the money to do that. But me and these other 1,000 people, we can all put $15 together because, well, I mean, I spend $15 a day on cigarettes right now. So I'm just not going to smoke for one day. And I'm going to donate that money, and we're going to pool it all together. And this Dean guy over here, he's willing to go do all the work. Fuck my labor. I'm donating it. It's fucking free. Just when I get there, make sure I've got the money to buy materials to build what we want to build. That's all I want. Whether it's a house, a farm, a new world, I don't give a fuck what you want built. Let's just build it. We got volunteers. We can do this. You just need to get involved. And if the most you can get involved is going and finding $15 for the fucking empty cans in ditches around the city you live in and going and cashing those in and sending us the $15. You know what? I could use that more than I could use 1,000 people standing in a field looking at a place where a house needs to be built, but there's no materials there. They're willing to come and spend 2 weeks here and build a house, but that's not what we need. We need building materials. So if you think it's a scam, don't get involved. Go support the American government because they're not scamming you. Support Her Majesty the Queen because she's not scamming you. Don't support us. Just go away. I just don't want to deal with you at all. So that's what we're going to be all about. We're going to do videos about this, lots of updates, a lot more episodes where we're going to talk about things that are in the news and why they're a distraction and what's really going on. I actually want to do a whole show that's devoted to what they're really saying, with all these bullshit news stories and everything else. But we're going to get to it all. We'll start getting some guests on. I promised that last time, but then I kind of burnt out and realized I needed more recovery time after 16 months in isolation with no sunlight. So now that my house is in order again, it's go time. The organization is here, the Earth Stewardship Cooperative. Our website's going to be ready to be released right away. Join Facebook if you need to. A necessary evil for right now until we've got our own website, which is our own Facebook, by the way. It's not too bad so far. And just get involved. And we're going to make flyers available for people in PDF format. Just print them up and go tape them somewhere on a fucking window. If that's all we're asking from people, a flyer, just print up a flyer and go and tape it in a fucking window somewhere at a coffee shop or hand it to somebody or do something. I don't care what it is, just go do something. It's apathy that's killing this world. It's apathy. People believing they can't do anything because you're powerless as an individual, and that's fucking bullshit. That's the biggest lie on this planet, is that one person cannot change anything. That's the biggest fucking lie. Only one person can change things. That's the only thing that ever has changed things on this planet, is one person. Because that's all it takes to start something, is one person. So I think I'm done with my rant for this week. I'm sure Biggie's probably listening and he can disconnect us here on a moment's notice. I think I got another message here. He's probably told me my head's cut off. Okay. Yeah, maybe we're off the air already. I don't know. But I'm done. I'll be back next Thursday. Join Facebook, because then that's where we're going to be letting people know where the new website is when we launch, which I think is probably going to be tomorrow or the next day now. We're all ready to go. Have a good week. Go do something. Bye.